here we will try to find out the solution for the differential equation that we have derived in the previous lecture. So what is the differential equation? So from the SHM motion we have derived x double dot plus omega n square into x equal to 0. This is the differential equation that we have derived from the SHM motion, and we have already derived some of the equation of motion for the free and undamped examples. So if I take a spring and mass system, so we have derived that k double dot plus k x double dot plus k by m into x equal to 0. So if I compare these two equations, so we already know that omega n equal to square root of k by m. So from this equation we can know only omega n and time period, but our whole discussion started with to find out the amplitude of vibration. So how to find out the amplitude of vibration? Amplitude is nothing but you know um, solution for this equation, that is amplitude in terms of time. So how the amplitude of the vibration is changing with respect to the time, that's what our file name is. We need to find out the this one. So how to find out for this equation? So this is a linear second order differential equation. Why I am saying linear? There is no other term. So for example, if x double dot is multiplied with something like a x dot, or here also if it is some multiplied with x double dot or something like that, then it become non-linear. But here in this case it's linear, and this everything is in the order. In fact this is something like this: x double dot some other coefficient c1 into x dot plus some other coefficient c2 into x equal to 0. But here since we haven't considered damping, this term is 0 and we have only these two, so this is a linear differential equation. So whenever we have a linear differential equation, and after finding out the solution for this one, we can combine those two linear solution for this differential equation. So here what I do is I will choose so I will choose this as my solution, and here d and s are unknowns. We need to find out d and s, and whereas t is the time. So if I substitute these into this equation 1, then it will become, and this again can be written as a s square plus omega square into s square plus omega square into d into e power st equal to 0. So either this should be become 0 or this should be become 0. But if d into e power st becomes 0, then automatically it will give trivial solution. That means 0 solution for this one. But that is not the case we wanted. So we want non-trivial solution. For non-trivial solutions to be exist, the coefficient this coefficient should be 0. That means s square plus omega n square equal to 0. Then from this one we can write s equal to plus or minus I omega n. Why I? The complex, because when omega n comes here, it will become minus 1, and square root of minus 1 is plus or minus I. So we have two solutions, and we have already seen that we have already discussed that for a linear system these two solutions can be superimposed. So the final solution x of t would become d1 into e power minus s1 t comma d2 into e power minus oh, sorry, it's not minus, plus, and s2 into t, where s1 and s2 are plus or minus I omega n. And we also know from the trigonometry e power I theta equal to cos theta plus I sin theta. So this can be written like this. So if I substitute this, final equation can be written like this: x of t equal to d1 e power s1 t plus d2 e power s2 t, but S1 is I omega n and S2 minus I omega n. So d1 e power I omega n t plus d2 e power minus I omega n t, and e power I omega n can be written in this way. So I will take cos omega n common. This is the equation after taking cos omega n and omega n t and sin omega n t common, and I will call this term as a and I will call entire this term as a b including I, and this equation again rewritten as so this is the final equation, this is the final solution for this one, and here here a and b are constants and unknown, so we need to find out this constant from the given conditions, and further the same equation can be modified into some other form, some other easy form. For example, if I divide this equation here with the square root of a square plus b square and multiply with a square plus b square. So I would, so if I take some triangle here, this is the a and this is the b, and this will become square root of a square plus b square. This is a right angle triangle, a square plus b square, and if if I consider this as a phi, then a by square root of a square plus b square will become sine phi, and here b by square root of a square plus b square will become cos phi. So and I will call square root of a square plus b square as a new variable amplitude a into here sine phi cos omega t, and this is a sine phi cos omega n t plus cos phi sin omega n t, and this equation can be written as a into sine of sin a plus b, so sin omega n t plus phi. So this is the final equation that is important, because most of the time we use this equation to solve the amplitude at a different time period. So if you can recollect from our first lecture, so we have derived this differential equation by considering the SHF motion. So from this motion, actually here particle is moving in this direction from starting from this point. So from this equation, from this motion, we have derived this equation, and from this equation we have derived this equation. This is let's say 1, and we have derived equation 3 from the equation 1. So we need to represent this equation graphically. So I have drawn, this is simply a sine curve, and if phi is 0, then this if phi is 0, it could have started from 0. This is a 0 degree, and this is the amplitude, and this is the theta axis, and this is a 0. So if phi is there, it would have started like this, but since we have a phi, even though at a time t sine is not becoming 0, but it's having uh, magnitude here, so that's why it's starting from here and it's going like this, and this sine curve is repeating for after a certain period of interval. So if I take a point here, and again after this point, it's a curve is repeating. So the time taken from a particle to travel from this point to this point is a time period tp. Not only here, if you take this point again, this is the point after which the curve is again rotating or repeating, And if you take, for example, here this from here to here it's a time period, and here to here also time period. So that is how we will calculate. And if you could recollect from our flywheel chapters, how we have seen there how to calculate the time period of a sine curve or a cosine curve. And if it is a combine of the both so many curves, then there also we develop some procedure to develop find out the time period of the given entire curve. So here what is the time period is simply, actually time period of sine theta is 2 pi, but sine time period of sine omega into theta, here theta means t, that equal to 2 pi by omega. So sine period of, so time period of this curve is 2 pi by omega n. Here we have omega n before our variable t, that's why we are dividing with omega n here. Now we try to understand the previous solution by solving an example. Here the time period of the system is given as a 0.8 second, and having a stiffness of 120 Newton per meter, and the system is started from the rest. Initially the system is at rest with a velocity of 1 meter per second. What does it mean? That means at t equal to 0, x of t, I mean amplitude at t equal to 0 equal to 0, and at initially it is having a velocity 1 meter per second. That means x dot of 0 equal to 1 meter per second. That's what he has mentioned. And we need to find out amplitude and velocity at a time 10 seconds. So we, to find out the in amplitude and velocity at a time period 10 seconds, first of all, from this equation we have already derived from this equation we need to find out the unknowns. So what are the unknowns in this equation? One is phi and another one is amplitude, maximum amplitude capital A. So we need to find out these two before we find out the x and x dot at t equal to 10 seconds. And before that we need to find out omega n also. So he has given TP. TP means time period equal to 2 pi by omega n, and omega n equal to 2 pi by 0.8. So that means it's a 7.85 radian per second. So at t equal to 0, I am substituting t equal to 0, then amplitude also becoming 0. So x of 0 equal to 0 equal to a into sine omega n into 0 plus phi. So that means sine phi. But here in this equation either a can become 0 or sine phi can become 0. But if a becomes 0, then this entire equation will become 0. That means x is getting a trivial solution, but here we need a non-trivial solution. Then in this case only sine phi can become 0. So when sine phi equal to 0, then that means phi equal to 0. And we have another condition, x dot of 0. So to get x dot of 0, you first we differentiate this one. So x dot of t equal to, so in this equation we again substitute t equal to 0, then that gives 1 equal to y velocity of velocity is 1 at x equal to 0, a into omega is 7.85 into cos of, again 7.85 into 0. So cos 0 equal to 0, so a, we will get a equal to 1 by 7.85. So that value is 0.127. It's a meter per, it's a meters, it's in a meter. And so we calculated unknowns a and phi. So our equation now became, so this is our equation, and we need to find out amplitude and the velocity at t equal to 10 seconds. So if I substitute t equal to 10 seconds, then t10 equal to, here this this value is in a radians, so we need to convert this radians into degrees, so that's why I multiplied 180 by pi. And we should remember, because if you don't multiply, if you don't convert this radian into degrees, then automatically you will end up with the wrong answer. Then it gives 5.05 millimeters, and we need velocity at 10 equal to 10, yeah, t equal to 10 seconds. So by differentiating this one, so here also I have multiplied or converted this radians into degrees by multiplying 180 by pi, and here this is omega n, so we will get this value as a minus 0.996 meter per second. This is a meter per second. So what does it mean? We got minus value. That means the at this position when t equal to 10 seconds, the system is moving upward. Why? Because the spring mass system that we have considered, x in this direction, x when x is coming in the downward direction, if you recollect from the previous lecture. So when if the velocity is going in the downward direction, we will get a positive value, but here a negative value means at this instance the this system is moving in the upward direction.